Alright, I just got interrupted from in the middle of doing one, and I don't know how to do all the editing and stuff. I just go off the dome, start to finish, upload. Probably why some of them get a bit floundery. But at least they're raw and honest. It's like a live feed that's not live. Okay. 3 points. Point 1 in case. Doctors Without Borders. It's a thing, okay, it's a thing. Which is, it's like the health system's version of the Lima Declaration. Bringing the third world countries up to the standard of the, supposedly, under the guise of, bringing the third world countries up to the standard of the developed nations. So if you go to Pakistan, Indonesia, Polynesia, Africa, actually, you could probably leave Africa out of that one. I'll get to that in a second. All of these third world countries that are sending their trainees here to Australia to train up as medical practitioners, which isn't health, it's medicine, okay? Medicine being part of pharmaceuticals, pharmakeia, the Greek Latin word, which is where it all derives from, pharmakeia, which is alchemy. It derives from pharmakeia, which is the practice of alchemy. It's the practice of poisons and potions. Okay, that's where it derives from. Okay? I'll reel myself back in here in a second, but that's where it comes from. You've got to not just understand, but you've got to comprehend that we have 3 different tiers of English language, and it didn't just pop out of nowhere. It wasn't invented from nothing. It came from other languages, earlier languages, ancient languages, Roman Latin, Greek Latin, Norse. Okay? That's where pharmacy comes from, pharmakeia, which is a Greek Latin word, which you can run it all the way back to in there, which is witchcraft. Yeah. It was taught by the fallen angels. The legion of angels that turned against God with Satan. Little G, the little G thinks he's a fucking god. All he is in his Satan's little season. He's got a little bit of time where he's in control here on earth, just so that we can actually see just how fucking bad things are. Without God. Big G, Christ. Yahuwah. The Mashiach. Okay? You're looking at Aramaic there. Mashiach. Aramaic, Hebrew. The Messiah. Right. Doctors Without Borders. Is it suddenly that in their countries nobody's sick anymore? Nobody has accidents? Nobody burns himself? Nobody cuts himself? Nobody breaks bones anymore? Are they all like, immortal people now, or what? It's not like they don't need doctors. Okay, so this Doctors Without Borders thing, at the end of the day, is robbing them of the healthcare that they need and deserve. Well, yeah, robbing them of the healthcare that they need and giving us the healthcare substandard to what we deserve because we pay taxes for it, big time. Have you ever thought about that? You're donating to charities for Doctors Without Borders to rob us of the opportunity. Perhaps if we took some money from that and put it into real education, and we took some money from, I don't know, gender studies and put that into real education, and we took some money from, I don't know, Jeremy Rockcliffe, maybe the fucking football stadium, and put that into real studies to make our people a little bit more fucking intelligent, a little bit better grade of education on science, biology, maths, English, the important ones, the important ones. So that then we can have decent doctors that we can understand and understand us, and we can we can streamline the hell out of our whole medical system and get it back to a healthcare system instead of a fucking drug system, a pharmacy system. How about that? Wouldn't that be good? So yeah, look, I see straight through it. I see straight through it. It's a fucking joke. It's our healthcare system's version of the Lima Declaration, which is what saw all of our industry and wealth and skills disappear off the face of the fucking planet. And now we import the finest Chinese in from countries who are just ripping us off with our own minerals and stuff. Okay, I'm getting wound up. Point 2 in case. Councils. Ooh. Ooh. Here in Tasmania, I don't know how many of you are aware of it. We have a Supreme Court case going ahead from a stood down councillor from another municipality, another shire of the colony of Tasmania. Yeah, I'll go back that far. Another shire of the colony of Tasmania, another village. Yeah, another village in the shire of Tasmania in the colony of Australia. Ooh, coloniser. Ooh. Shut up. We're just Australians. 200 and what is it now? 230 years later or so. It's like this isn't 1782 or... Grow up. 1760 something. I can't remember the exact dates. I'll have to get back to that one day. I'll have to do a revision for myself. Because yeah, I do that. All this time under the bridge, we weren't there. You weren't there. I wasn't there. My next door neighbour wasn't there. My kids' cats weren't there. Nobody alive today was alive then, and nobody who was dead, who was alive then, is alive now. Nobody who was dead then is relevant now. It's sorry. It sucks. Sorry. That's about as close as you'll get to an apology out of me. That's as close as you'll get to a fucking treaty sorry out of me. It's irrelevant. Grow up. Right. The gag orders. A stood down councillor taking the council to court, the Supreme Court, to try and stop gag orders. Okay. Where do I go with this? 1988, 1992, 3 referendums on the Local Government Act. At the federal level, they were referendums asking if we would recognise council as local government, and we voted no twice. Well, what do we do now? Because the United Nations are all over us to install councils as local government so that they can implement and install all of their agendas for the New World Order. Yeah, New World Order. Well, I'll go get my tinfoil hat, will I? Okay. It's just, the Club of Rome, which became the League of Nations, which became the United Nations, which is, just another arm of the World Economic Forum, the Bilderberg Group, BlackRock, NATO. Put them all together. It's the same thing. It's the same shit. It's the same people. It's the same people. Your Gateses, your Clintons, your Musks. Yeah, your Musks. Sorry to throw your heroes into that. Your children of the son of Ra. Your children of the child of Ra. Ra's child. Rothschild. Ha! See where that comes from? You've got to figure out where things come from. Proper history, relevant history. Relevant history is a big part of it is learning where the names and words come from. And then you realise the whole illusion of control. It's just an illusion, okay? authority of man over man. It's just an illusion that you believe. Okay. He's trying to stop he's trying to stop the gag orders for counsellors. Well, what about the people? Okay, look, I'll take that. It's the system we've got to work with, and we've got to try and work around it and with it as best as we can. It sucks. I'd like to just fucking destroy it. But nobody wants to fucking walk away from it. They all think that they can fight it. So you're going to have to try and fucking worm your way through it. At the same time as not complying, as not engaging. The best thing you can do is try and get yourself in a position, not with them cunts. Don't ever fucking try and join the council, be a member of council. That's a gag order straight away. Because you got all the non-disclosure fucking agreements you have to sign that you can end up thrown in jail over. You can't talk about anything to the public, especially on social media once you become a member of council. Okay? Now, that's what they say. I'll take that. I'll take that as a step towards a win. It's not a win, even if this bloke wins. It's only a step towards a win. If he gets a win on that, we got to pick that up and run with it and say, right, don't stop there. We got to stop the gag orders on the general public. Whether your question's ridiculous, legitimate, of some importance, or trivial, you have a right to ask it. And you have a right to a fucking fair and decent answer. If it's a completely stupid and retarded question, like I don't like this bin being on this side of the road, you deserve a fucking retarded and ridiculous response to that of like, okay, well perhaps you need to learn how to cross the road. Without someone holding your hand. Next question, please. Instead of allowing 20 minutes or more to fucking babble on about it, taking up the time of people who have legitimate fucking questions and doing that meeting after meeting after meeting, the same as why am I being forced to walk a dog on a lead at the dog beach or in the dog park? Because there's other dogs there, fuckwit. Next question. People with small dogs have every right to be there as much as people with big dogs. You let your big dog off. How does an old lady with a small dog get your big dog off of their little dog when you can't even control it? There's your fucking answer. Next question. Right. Anyway, third question. My third point is about rights. Where do they come from? And privileges. Why do you think your rights are only privileges? Right? Because somebody responded to this. It was on the TAPER project, number 274, if you want to have a look at it. It's about Tasmanian Council. This is the second Tasmanian councillor TAPER has had on the TAPER project in the last couple of weeks. One from Hobart and this bloke, I can't remember where he's from. Now, somebody says, we need a constitutional right to free speech. Oh, fuck me. Okay, like, I'm not gonna try and judge this person, label them or categorise them. Maybe they're just ill-informed. Okay, not everybody was born no-pilled like me. People have taken the red pill and not realising that that's just the other form of control that leads you to the same destination via a different route. You don't need one. You have a basic human right to it. Call it God-given free will and courage. Use it. Online doesn't count. Only between us, in the echo chamber. Let's be honest, that's all it is. We're just preaching to the choir, preaching to the converted. It must be in person, face to face, or they'll choose to ignore, delete, or use it against us like they have proven they do, which they do. They ignore it, they delete it. You send all the emails and stuff you want. Even write it in paper. Send them all of them that you like. That's just landfill. It's just gone into the ether or into the cloud to be added to the stacks of other ones that are relevant that might actually, this person's actually onto something that might actually ruffle some feathers or gain some fucking momentum, so that gets used against us. Okay? Stop it. Stop it. So Damon 1143, who is obviously just someone who wants to argue with everybody, is a waste of space. Sorry, Damon, but I'll call it out. I'll see it, mate, and I'll see it how it is. Governments in Australia and around the world ignore what people think are basic human rights all the time. Duh! They're a fantasy. If it's not enshrined in law, it'll be trampled over with no recourse. If it is enshrined in law, it'll be trampled over, but there will be a chance of recourse. How, mate? How? You're a fucking goose, mate. Right? So, all right, it's back to him. I'll only throw I'll only throw you one pearl, and as soon as your mask comes off, and I see that I'm casting pearls before swine, you won't get any more. I don't waste my pearls on swine. Pearls of knowledge, pearls of wisdom. Okay, you'll find that in here. Sounds like you're talking about constitutional human rights or Geneva Convention Nuremberg human rights. I'm talking about actual rights of man that take courage to use. For instance, in my town here in Burnie, Tasmania, I've only ever seen one person other than myself turn up to a council public meeting to question their monthly and annual agendas, their motives, and why they need an hour pre-meeting to rehearse how they are going to deal with the questions that they refuse to address at all unless you submit them a week prior, and that was an elderly lady with hearing aids that Councillor Trent Aitken shouts down, look, I don't care, I'll name you for what you are, okay? I used to think you was alright, Trent, I used to, but all I see is a person that suffers shocking from grandiose narcissistic personality disorder. It's not an insult, it's a mental problem you probably should go get looked at. Psychological. Not mental, psychological. It's a disorder. No different to being on the spectrum. I think you'll find it is on the spectrum. Anyhow, I don't mean that as an insult. You'll probably find I'm on the spectrum in some way. Yeah, why they need an hour pre-meeting to rehearse how they are going to deal with questions that they refuse to address at all unless you submit them a week prior. And that was an elderly lady with hearing aids that Councillor Trent Aitken shouts down every time before anyone can even finish reading out their questions for the public to hear. They'll either shout you down or try to make you look like a fucking fool if they don't want to answer the question, because people were starting to get a bit tired of, I'll take that question on notice. I'll take that question on notice. And if you submitted the questions a week prior, they can't take it on notice because they've had a week to address it. That's why they have the 1 hour dress rehearsal. They call it the private meeting. Why do they need a meeting for 1 hour before they have a public meeting? Councillor Trent Aitken spilt the beans on that by accident one night. Call it a Freudian slip, whatever. When somebody asked a question that he was pissed off that no one was informed that question was going to be asked in the private meeting, the 1 hour private meeting that happens before the public meeting. So they didn't get a chance to discuss that question. He complained about it. Point of order. Spilt the fucking beans. Not that fucking bright, are you, mate? Sorry. Not sorry. Everyone has a right to speak up, but they all go through life being echo chamber warriors. But in person, they're like children, seen but not heard, afraid of personal loss or public ridicule, weak as piss. I'm not even going to... You can call this my response, mate. I don't care. Someone just done a big lock up out here. Idiot. Alright. Do you want me address? Private message me, mate. I don't give a fuck. There are no rights, this is what he replies, there are no rights outside of those you're willing to fight for, and talking about rights is not fighting for them. Well, that's kind of what I said. Well, that is what I said, except I explained it explains how and why. You're just making a fucking, this little fucking opinionated statement derived from the seed that somebody planted in your head. Demon, whatever, D-A-E-M-O-N 1143. Damon, I guess that is. Go somewhere else. Go on. Go somewhere else and pick a fight, pick an argument with someone of your, mediocre intellectual abilities. Somewhere else with your cerebral dexterity of a fucking squash ball. Bye. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Your rights. The law. The law. It seems that Damon has not grasped the concept, and most people do not seem to grasp the concept between legislature and law. Listen to some politicians actually speak. Go and have some conversations with some. I have. I've had heated arguments with some. I've laughed in some of their faces when they think they've won and strutted round like a pigeon that thinks they won a game of chess by knocking all the pieces over. And they laughed at me and I'm They're not sure how to take that one. They laugh and you're laughing.
Stop ticking.
Laughing at people doesn't mean you won. Laughing at people shows that you're not willing to go on with the conversation because you know you're fucked. So you just resort to some kind of ridicule, personal attacks, character assassination. You're probably a nice bloke, Damon. You probably are, and your heart's probably in the right place. You've probably got your morals and ethics in the right place. But your intellect is fucking not up there, mate. You need to do some more reading. Okay? That's why I called you a fucking idiot. You probably need to do some more reading, some more soul searching. It doesn't mean you're a redhead. You might be, don't know. Got that one from South Park. Bubblegum for the brain and junk food. What is it? Bubblegum for the eyes and junk food for the brain. Off mainstream television. I don't do it. We don't even have an aerial hooked up to this house. No coax cable, none of that shit. Which is probably why my daughter has duxed the entire school in English literature and is in grade 10 and is already at a standard, but she has to go through 2 years of college before she can go to university to study level 3 advanced mathematics and level 3 advanced English literature. How did that come about? Me not reading gobbledygook to them when they were a fucking kid. My 19-year-old son with level 2 autism. He isn't autistic, that's not a label. Okay? That's a hurdle in life he has to overcome, which will only make him stronger. Stop fucking pretending these people can't learn things. Stop treating them like they're less than and talking to them with a patronising, fucking condescending attitude as if they're little fucking babies. They're not. He's 19 now, throughout his whole education system. Went to Havenview Primary School and had a teacher there that was working miracles with him. She contracted cancer. Oh, I miss her. And from there to Parklands, what a fucking joke that place is. Acton School for special people, the special needs school, great place. They were working wonders with him, but he got too old for them. He just got too old. He was the oldest one there, and he was just too old, too intellectually mature, too spiritually mature. He was becoming a man, hanging around with kids with people with very childish mentalities. It wasn't work. It got to a point it wasn't working for him anymore. It was counterproductive to his growth, maturely. So he went from there to Hellier College. I pulled him out of there. Thought I'd give him a go at Indy. Even fucking worse. Pulled him out of there at 19. Now he's got a tutor he sees twice a week for 1 hour a session, who is proving all of those people wrong that said that he will never read and write. Ha! He's reading and writing. I knew it could be done. I just had to find the right person to put in front of him. I tried to teach him, but I'm not a teacher. I'm not a teacher of English literature. I'm great at understanding comprehension. I'm great at the comprehension of English literature. My spelling's average. My punctuation's not bad. But my comprehension of English literature, which is not spelling and punctuation, okay? It's the comprehension of the written word and the spoken word. The comprehension of its meaning in its text, in the order that those letters and words are written or spoken. And the derivative of those words, to know whether you should understand them, discard them, comprehend them. Whether you should fight against them rather than stand under them, understand them. Well, I'm going on a whole other tangent, I know. Reel it back, Dave. I'm having one of those days. I've got a lot going on. It goes on all the time. So sorry about that, guys, but sorry, not sorry. Well, at least there's something going on in there. Other than Big Macs and fucking frozen Cokes. So, 27 minutes. So, yeah. Later on tonight, I might go on a little bit more with another half a chapter or so out of that. No, I'm not a minister. I'm not a priest. Goodness, I've never been officially sprinkled with water. Here's a word for you. Baptise goes back to the Greek Latin word meaning to immerse. So when you baptise yourself in Christ, it doesn't mean that you have to go and get wet. It means you have to immerse yourself in Christ. But you know, the very same people that nailed the world's only perfect man to a pole completely hijacked everything he stood for and turned it on its fucking head. God bless you and brah brah.